Up this second floor masonry takeoff. Let me show you how I came up with all my numbers. Let me see. I have my spreadsheet over here, like always. Um, I got it all done already. This is all the stuff that we need right here. So the first thing I did, like always, I figure out how many linear feet I have. 316 linear feet. All the red, I went around, marked everything up. That's 316 linear feet. All right, which that equals 237 blocks. So we need 237 blocks to go all the way around to do one course of block. And then this house is 10 foot tall, which obviously I went to the elevation, you know, made sure I knew my wall height. It's right here, 10 feet. That's our final height for the second floor. So we got that. Let me see. Oops. Okay, so we got that. That's how we came up with. So 237 times 15 equals 3,555 blocks. Solid count, which is this one. Okay, so this is our solid count all the way around. Now, next thing I did was I deducted, like always, the openings. All the openings, which we had about, I think it was 725 square feet of openings. Um, again, let me go to my elevation. So see, I highlighted them here, all the green. I calculate all my square footage that I have here on all my openings for the second floor, all of them right here. And then I just convert that to blocks. So again, you need a construction calculator for that. Um, so I get all my square foot, front, back, and that's how I came up with 845 845 minus 845 blocks. Now there was one that I had missed because you can't see on the elevation. When you go to the floor plan, it's this door right here. This door right here I had missed, so this is about 30 blocks. So then I added it. Obviously because you can't see it. Um, so we got that. Let me see. Okay, and then the precast. So the way I do the precast is removing all the linear feet from the precast is I figure out all my precasts, which they're all right here. And then obviously I just times it, right? I average it. So I got 3 feet, 27 feet, 12 feet, 19 feet. So 76 times 5 is approximately 87 feet, 9, 30, 16. So I add all these feet together. I come up with 203 linear feet of precast. And then all I do is I just turn that into block. So 203 divided by 16 inches equals 152. So that's we got 152 that we got to deduct for our precast. Um, and then the other one that I have is half heights. This is where it would be hard to it would be really easy to miss this if you don't really have a lot of experience with masonry work because me by just looking at this number right here, 8'4". 8'4" tells me that I need a half high right here. My precast is not gonna sit on equal 8 inches. So it's just the same thing. It's a half high. It's a half just going the other way. So it's half. It's skinny. It's 4 inches tall instead of 8 inches. So it's the same thing. It's half of a block. So that's why it's called a half high. So I know that here I'm gonna need a precast plus a half high, then my bomb beam. So I had to add a bunch of half highs for all these above all the windows. because all my head heights, all my precast, and that's not standard. Mostly they always set all the precast at 8 feet, so it's block friendly. So it's 12 courses. This one you would have to do 12 courses in a 4-inch piece and then set your precast. So I figured, okay, if I'm gonna do that, I need to order a bunch of half highs. That way the guys don't have to cut all these blocks. So that's how I got my half highs. And again, there's 120, but I only deducted 60 on my subtraction because obviously they're half of a block. You can't count. My half highs are over here. I'm going to order 120 for them. And then half blocks, same thing. I did 110, which is half of it would be 55. And my half block, all my half block again, I just kind of go, let me see. I go to my window sheet and I kind of just go through it real fast, right? Like I already know I need like 9 or 8 blocks for here, 8 halves. This is only 24 inches. That's only 3 halves, 8 halves, 3 halves. And then you start adding them all up. 12 halves here. All the doors, this is 90, this is like 10 feet. I mean, 8 feet. That's 12 courses. So you need 12 halves, 8 halves, 8 halves. So you kind of average it. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I came up with like 118. So I like, you know what? I'm just going to send out 110 halves. So that's what I'm going to order. I'm going to order 110 halves, 120 half highs. And so and then the knockouts, our very last course. Obviously, our last course, we get it from here. Knockout's going to be 237 knockouts because there's 237 blocks per course. And your last one's always a knockout, bomb beam. So let me add that there. And I'll bring that over here. So I got my 237 knockouts. So then this one, we're going to use mortar and sand instead of pre-mixed mortar. So the formula for that I use for mortar and sand is I add all, how many blocks do I have? I have 2,800 blocks. So then the way I do it is I go 2,800 blocks, and each bag of mortar will get me approximately 70, will lay me about 70 blocks divided by, oops. So if we got 2,800 regulars divided by 70, we need 40 bags. So I got 40 bags, and this one is the easy one. For every 10 bags of mortar that you order 4 yards of sand, and it should work out pretty good. During the rainy season, I changed this a little bit because when it rains, it washes out a lot of sand. There's more waste during rainy season. Um, so this is exactly what we should need for the block. And then obviously I did all my rebar. I went around, counted all my linear feet, and divided it by 17 and times it by 2. So I came up with 38 rebars. Then my corner bars, so obviously one corner bar per corner. Just counted every single one of my corners. Got that done. Okay. What else did I? Let me see which one else. Our down cells. 92. 9/8 by 10 foot. 9/8 by 10 foot. I mean 9/8 by 1 foot. There's 92 of them. And these are super easy. You just gotta go and count. See where they're at. New count right here. I just went around and counted the dots. See, all these dots are a rebar, rebar, rebar. Those are all rebars. And then if there's a diamond, that's just letting you know there's something different here. So this diamond, I would automatically know by the way that this architect draws this stuff up. This equals 2 bars. Look, it's right here. Not a diamond, I mean a triangle. Triangle equals 2 number 5s instead of 1. So I did 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Um, and the height, to get the height for the rebar again, let me look right here. Perfect example right here. Let me take this off. It makes it kind of. So here's our bar. So the way I always get my overall let me just do what any it don't matter any kind of scale doesn't matter. The way I always do my figure out my rebar height is I know that I'm at 10 feet total. My wall's 10 feet, but I want to subtract 2 inches here so we can get concrete here and 2 inches here. So that's why it's always minus 4 inches. That's why when you look at my order, my rebar is 9'8" with a 1 foot hook. He's saying here that he needs 10 of them, but this is standard. Like everybody does 1 foot hooks. They have a lot of this rebar already made. So when you order it, this is how you order it. So as far as rebar heights, this is why you do duck 2 inches. You always deduct 4 inches from the hook. So it's 9'8" by 1 foot, and that gives you your downs. That one. And then tie wire, obviously, it's just one row. 6 inch loop type. This is the smaller ones. They have a bigger one. It's 8 inch, but you're not tying like a bunch of rebars together. So you get the six. That's why I always get the 6 inch loop. And every house is usually one row. You never go more than one row for a house. You're always gonna have leftover. Lintel screen. So that's to make sure that all the walls don't get poured solid. I always get 3 of those. The way I calculate that is for every 100 feet, I order one row. So 3 rows. And then at the end, I got all my precast for the windows and then the window sills. And then on this one at the very end, I calculated how much concrete we were gonna need for to fill all these holes right here. And then the way that I figure concrete out on these houses is pretty simple. It's a pretty simple, easy way to do it. What I do is I figured, how big is the inside of this hole? This hole, how big is it? So what I do is, okay, you know what? This hole usually I've measured it on the field. It usually has about 5 and something inches, say 6 inches. So I go 6 inches times 6 inches. So, both ways, 6 inches this way, 6 inches this way. So 6 inches times 6 inches, and obviously this is a 10-foot house times 10 feet. And then I go times 92, and then it'll give me all what I need. And then again, you need a construction calculator for this. So you go 6 inches times 6 inches times 10 feet, and then times 92 times. So let me do it over here on my 6 inches times 6 inches times 10 feet times 92. It's 33,120 square inches, and then convert to yards. Oh shit, no, that's not correct. 6 inches times 6 inches times 10 feet. Okay, there's times 92. It already tells you it's 8.5 yards. I don't know what I did, but I did something wrong. But it's 8.5 yards for you to just fill all the cells. But then you have to fill the top part. And I do the same thing. I know a block has 2 holes. But what I usually do, I count, let's say, 2 courses of a bomb beam, and I'll do the same thing. And it gets me pretty close. You get a pretty good idea of how much concrete. Um, I'm gonna put this one at 16. Only reason why is we have an elevator, and all the elevators, you should always be full of concrete. So no lintel screen here. And so let me see. I think that's it. I got everything. that we need. So um should get this delivered next week, and then I'll see exactly how good our takeoff was.